rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Here.
You here?
She's here.
Here, sorry.
Loveless.
Here.
Adam.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Zalman.
Yep. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Support.
And moved and supported. Any discussion?
We have an amendment in the payables.
We have an amendment in the payables. Approval of bills,
13B.
prepaids, payroll, payable.
13B, that's resolution 4.
I'm sorry.
You were.
Amendment to the payables of, should read 11,124.44 instead of 11,139.
Say the number once more, please.
It should be 11,124.44. $15,000 less. Which the total approved will change to 53,858.99. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. Motion to approve the minutes of the February 14th regular board meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
They moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Approval of the minutes of the February 14th public hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve the public hearing meeting.
Been moved and supported.
Who's support? What?
Chapman.
Chapman supported. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay. Patty, would you like to?
Hello, good evening, I'm Patty Pop. Most of you already know me, but Patty Pop, registered deeds for Antrim County. I've been your register for 18 years with a total of 31 years of the office, which is hard to believe that's been that long already, but well, I enjoy. I have
Started when you were 14.
I did. Oh, 18 maybe. That's probably more feasible. I want to also talk to you briefly about the program that we have. I think I might have talked to you before. It's the Property Fraud Alert. You can sign up for that free of charge on the website, and then you'll be notified anytime your name is indexed in our system. It is free to all of the Antrim County residents. I have a flyer here, so anytime anything is recorded in my office, lien, mortgage with bank, you will be notified. You just sign up for how you want to be notified, by phone, email. I suggest that if you put your name, like for me, I would do Patricia, Marie, Neva, Patty, Neva, just list them all, and you'll be notified. So I have these flyers here, if anybody would like one. I'll leave them here, and always, check the website at any time. We have 3 different options you can search by. Get copies, it's 24/7. I know the assessors love it. So, if you have any questions, call me anytime. Thank you. Thank you for your support.
That was all? Very good.
Pardon me?
That's all?
That was all?
Is that good? Yeah.
That's
That's
good.
good, that's good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Reports. Scott?
Thank you. Hopefully everybody got a chance to look at their report. I've listed some things at the bottom as far as special things that we've taken care of. Quite a bit of different things. Kind of in a nutshell, the new car is here, got here yesterday. The old one is actually getting tore down as we speak, or hopefully as we speak. So we'll try to make that transition relatively quickly here, so in the next week or so. Part of the grant for the new car, I did close out that grant request. We're required by the grant to actually send them proof that we actually spent that money for what we actually asked for. And I did that simply just with a bill of sale for the car, showing that we also contributed towards it and stuff like that. So that was a real simple one, just a letter, so that's in the file with that too, so. I know I'll probably miss something, but any questions?
You've applied for another grant to help with.
Yes, I'm sorry, that was, I think that was in there too.
Yeah, it is.
After we spoke last meeting, I think it was the next day or the day after that, I immediately applied for a grant through TransCanada, pipeline company around here. Tristan Cole was very helpful as far as pointing me in the right direction. He said they're very willing and able to give money to organizations like police departments and stuff like that. So I wrote it, real simple grant to write. They got a response back like the next day. Basically, they said it's about an 8-week process, and I think as of today, we're in week 4. So hopefully by the next time we have a meeting next month, I'll kind of give you kind of the 411 on that. I asked for about $5,000 is kind of what I asked for, because that's kind of what we have into it at this point. If we get that grant, we just use it for the car, and basically, when we're all done, we get about a $21,000 car for 0 cost to the village, so it'll work out really well, I think, so. The things that we kind of have pending at this point are, obviously the old car's getting stripped down, the new car will have to get equipped up. That's about $1,500, actually about $90 to strip it down, about $1,500 to equip it, so we're about somewhere under $2,000. Hopefully if we sell the other car, we can kind of recoup that money. We should get at least $2,000 out of the other Explorer, so. But like I said, hopefully when it's all done, I can come back and tell you that it cost you nothing for the new car, so.
Any questions
Scott,
for
yeah,
Scott?
I have a question on the last item, several safety meeting with local church and residents. What's that about? What's happening?
We had a meeting obviously at the school, about the safety issue and stuff like that, as far as school safety and stuff like that, and the drugs type deal. That kind of led into, there's a meeting I had with somebody at the Congregational Church, and then a couple people had come in my office talking about, you know, is our school really safe, and there's the things that we need to do, so just kind
Are you
of.
planning a kind of ongoing program, or are you just kind of?
No, I think the church, basically I met up with somebody from the church and they were asking some questions about if they were going to do some things different as far as safety, what would I suggest, and we just kind of talked about things that would not only make their building safer, but I think maybe some of their people in the congregation a little bit safer too, so.
Thank you.
Just kind of more of just a quick informal type discussion, so.
Okay.
But that's kind of the hot topic lately with things that are going on in Florida and some of the other school shootings and stuff like that, so.
School doors are locked 24/7, correct?
They're supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
So, and then one of the presentations I gave or was involved in was I met up with the superintendent at the school. We had a presentation with the high school and the middle school students at 2 different sessions, and it was kind of a breakout session where we kind of talked about, you know, why is it important that we keep our school safe and keep doors locked and not let other people in. So, sorry about that. So that was one of those meetings too, so.
Anything else for Scott? Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Sam?
Everybody should have a copy of the DPW report. One, you know, there's a couple oddball things here. Had 2 frozen culverts on Maple Street. When we got the real warm weather and all the rain, it plugged the culverts up, so I had to get a gentleman out of Charlevoix to come down to thaw out the culverts for me. The water run right across the church parking lot and froze up, and it was a mess. You notice we removed the docks at the north end of the lake. When we put them in, they told us, don't worry about it. Well, Mother Nature let loose with about a 40-mile-an-hour wind right out of the south, and it busted the docks. So what we did is we took them out. We got $600, I think $600 in the repair of 2 of them. So there was about $300 worth damage. Thank God we took out the long extension pieces that went out into the lake. So, why are you looking at me like that, Melissa?
Is it $600
$300 per
per
dock
dock?
per
Is
repair.
someone else doing that, or are we doing it?
We did it
So you
in-house.
just
It's
left
done.
the
We done. It's all done and ready to go back in.
Right, good.
You'll see number 13, sweeping bid to the Antrim County Road Commission. Bert Thompson called me and said, hey Sam, what will it cost me to get your guys to sweep M88 from the Chamber Building to my mother's old house on Ballard Street? We did anyways. So I give him a bid of $500 and he approved it. So I got an additional $500 for reimbursement to major streets. Down to the shop today, we found out, we were sitting drinking a cup of coffee and we looked up at the furnace kicked on and all of a sudden we got orange flame coming out of our overhead furnace. So that tells me the heat exchanger's broke. So we got 2 of them in our base, so we shut that one off. So I only got 1 furnace going. It was put in 1981.
Bad already?
Yeah. Are we gonna want to replace both of them? One of them?
What do they
Are they
cost?
both the same
They
year?
put both of
Yeah, they
them-
were both put in the exact same year.
What do they cost?
I gotta think about $15 to $2,000 a piece, and I could be low on there, because they're overhead units, they hang off the ceiling. Now, do we wanna go with one bigger unit and eliminate the 2 and go high efficiency,
Talk to a contractor about that.
Yeah, can you bring us
you know?
the options and how much they'd be?
So I just want, yeah, I can get with somebody and find out, so I want you guys to be aware of one of them went the heck on us.
Wow.
And thank God it's such an open space, the carbon monoxide didn't, you know, you'd never get the best of you in that place, because it's so big.
Yeah, I talked to the contractor, get some recommendations, because I know, a fire department elsewhere, they have a radiant heat.
We have radiant,
Do you have
both
radiant down
in
there?
floor and above,
Okay.
in the fire department.
And I know the radiant's supposed to be pretty good, so.
Any questions?
What fund did that come out of?
We didn't budget for it, so I can't, it would come out of our 101,
101.
somewhere out of the 101, because it's DPW garage. Right. Any questions? Thank you.
ODA report, correspondence, didn't really have any, other than NLEA's annual luncheon is May 11th, a Friday from 11:30 to 1:30 at Moyne Mountain Resort. If you are interested in attending, please let Rachel or I know before the end of the week. I think she and I are planning to attend. Other than that, I haven't heard from anybody else, so. And I think that's all that I have for correspondence. Committee reports, Lyle, streets.
I think it was January, we mentioned this briefly, Stan Bean had come to Sam Mullins to inquire about paving the streets down at, it was at Stillwater in Maine. And they would split the cost with us, so Sam went ahead and got a quote from Regan Riley Construction to do so. I believe you all have a copy of that now. Sam gave a copy of this to Stan Bean, and they will discuss it in their township meeting next week. I just wanted to kind of bring it up and discuss it here, and get everybody's opinion, whether you think we want to agree on this, or what we want to do.
Well, if we can get the township to pitch in, it'd be a really good
So
time.
that's 50/50, right, Sam?
50/50, half of it's in town, in the village, half of it's out of the village. So,
And it's always been a hassle transitioning from that.
Everybody wonders why that turnaround
and
hasn't.
Stan had come to me and said, Stouch and Dyke, you know, they complain about the dust up there all the time. And Stan said, what can we do? And I said, I'll tell you what, if you go 50/50 on paving it, I'll go talk to my council. And Stan said, sounds good to me.
So all the way around and then
All the way
the
out to the
street down,
park, no?
like all around where like a flower.
Yep, all the way around there.
Okay.
From 88 to 88.
Not going east.
Correct.
Correct, because that's private drive going to the east.
So our cost would be $11,000.
Half of it, whatever the,
It's 22,000.
yeah, I don't have it in front of me.
And you talked to, I mean, you decided we can go not on 88, so we won't touch 88.
Correct, we will not go to 88, we'll go to 88, but we won't go to 88. One of them deals, you know what I mean?
So we don't have to deal with the state.
They're gonna come in and cut a radius at the good part of M88, which is far enough off, so we don't have to deal with MDOT.
It's not an action item, so we can put it as an action item next meeting. And by then, we'll know if the township's gonna spend their money and we'll spend our money.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Other than that, Sam's doing a good job as usual, and that's all I got.
Okay. Leila?
Nothing new.
Okay. Bill?
Just talk about the troll car, the one that just came in, and the selling of the Explorer. We've been talking about probably best way to do it is like we did the others, just put it on social media and put posters up a couple places and put it down at the village property where the
Top bid wins.
farmer's thing was there, and put a sign up there for sale and by bid, and take, if we put a $10,000, yeah, that'd be nice. $2,000 minimum bid, and then see if anybody wants it.
Like a plan to me.
And I think probably in another week we'll have it stripped out, and
It should be done by Friday, I hope.
of course, I know you gotta clean it up and shine it. And
Take 1 hour.
Anything else?
so if that's, is that all under the last approval we got to dispose of the car? Okay. I just wanted to check on that. That's all I got.
Okay. Communication?
I don't have a report per se, other than to ask the committee members that are on that to get with Rachel and I and the Vista worker. I'd like to have us have a meeting, because he was at another meeting that I was at and had talked about social media, so I think all of us getting together to talk would be good.
He's in training in Lansing today. so that's why
Yeah,
he's
no,
not here
another
tonight,
week
so-
or so,
Probably the first week of April.
that's fine. Is he here on set hours, or?
He's here Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, usually till 3 o'clock.
From open,
9 to
from 9 to 3, okay, so Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? 9 to 3, okay, I'll get with you.
Is that it? Brian?
Rachel received a check from the state of Michigan for $21,635.27, so that is the money that we was looking for last month,
and some.
and some. Last month, she thought we were supposed to receive about 13,000, so that extra 8,000, okay. I just want Rachel to put this in the minutes, I don't know if everybody knew or not, but the Delmac riders are not coming to Central Lake this year, since the bridge authority will not let bikers cross the bridge anymore. They have taken Central Lake off the route and condensed routes down, so at least for this year, they won't be coming to Central Lake, so at least people can read it in the minutes. Yeah, and that's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. Rob?
The grant I wrote to Health Department of Northwest Michigan, they received it, they approved it for $15,000. So we've got that going, that'll go towards resurfacing the basketball courts and the tennis courts. So that's really good news. And hopefully with the additional money, we'll have money to re-fence the basketball courts. That'll get started as soon as the snow melts, hopefully. Let's see here. Lyle's coming back on April 20th. I talked to him last week. He's requesting that we put 2 sections of the old white dock out where his boat is kept by Site 1. So that way he doesn't have to go into the water to use his boat every day. The docks are sitting there doing nothing. They're already putting docks in on the south side this year for our new mooring system that we're going to have going on. I don't see a problem with it, but I'm bringing it all up to everybody. 2 sections. The first section will be on shore. Second section will be out into the water, probably 15 feet, so he can just pull his boat up. In addition to that, on the other side of that dock, we could have the Antrim County Marine Patrol boat. I talked to Scott Bonney, he was very receptive to that. So we'd have Lyle on one side, the Andrew County Marine boat on the other side. They're already putting docks in down there, and those docks, there's only two, and the water's not that deep. So it'd just be for Lyle and the Antrim County Sheriff boat, so.
Put a sign on that too, though.
Yep, we got that one going, that's gonna be my next thing, we're gonna do a sign for that.
Icebreaker come in.
The house that the sheriff's department boat has kept it the last few years has been sold.
They sold that,
So that, they don't have the option to keep it there anymore, got in trouble.
It gives us a spot to put it in.
I think it's good,
I think it's
good
great.
PR for the campground.
And
We used to keep it over.
One of the nice things about
They
that
have
boat,
it there.
one of the things nice about that boat being there, that we can use it too if we need an emergency or whatever, so it's very,
It's
very
great.
ideal.
I think it's a good idea.
And it helps keep that open here.
Cover some of the riprap too.
So should we make a motion and have that in the minutes?
is it a motion? Okay,
I mean,
But yeah, we can make a motion on that.
yeah, we'd have to redo the agenda to an action item then.
We
Right?
got time next month.
yeah,
Yeah, we got time, then. I'll put it on
Yeah.
put it on for next
okay,
month.
yeah.
Last month, we had talked about what we're doing with the white docks on the south side. This is the sign we came up with. We're gonna bolt it to the docks. It says reserved mooring, see campground manager. So that way someone pulls up there, they can see the dock. To understand who's coming and going, we're gonna give each camper, whoever has their boat there, a tag. And writes the date, just like the state parks do for their cars. So they'll have their tag there, and when they pull in, it'll say the days that they're there. So that way, we know who's gonna be there. So Scott can go through the campground and look and say, oh, it's April 4th through April 6th, or July 4th through July 6th, whatever. So that way, we have an accurate accounting of what's going on. Also, on that same tag, we put a trailer license number on it too, so it's a dual-purpose tag. So when a camper comes up here with a trailer, they bring it up top, Lyle gives them one of these tags, he zip ties it to his trailer, and it has the date on it. And we have the license number of that trailer. So that way, you know, when there's only 10 boats in our campground, but there's 30 trailers parked up there, we have some checks and balances of what's going on up there. So that was the other thing you folks had asked me to look into. So Rachel did that for us, and then we'll also, at the next meeting, when we approve putting the white docks in, we'll get a dock like that that says reserved for campground manager, and we'll see if Scott wants to get one for his side.
I think we should just do
Right,
it.
Antrim
We
County
should
Sheriff.
do it.
Yeah, we should have
Can't have
some.
it on both.
For both, okay, well,
Yes.
so. Well, let's see, grant.
How much was that health department grant for?
$15,000.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your work.
Oh. And that's all I've got.
My report, I don't have a lot to say, but Jennifer Hodges has submitted grants for the sewer study, which she has not heard back from yet. She also submitted a grant for expanding our sidewalks in the village. No decision is expected until next month in April sometime. Next month at 6 p.m., we're having a zoning board of appeals meeting. We are the zoning board of appeals, the 7 of us. We have a request from a resident to adjust the front setback to his new house that he wants to put in. And our attorney will be here to guide us through that process. So just keep in mind it's 6 p.m. next month, not 7. I leave next Monday for the legislative conference for the MML. Battle Antrim has a mini grant available. I think the applications have to be in by sometime in April. I don't remember the exact date. 20th. I don't know if there's anything there of interest to us or not, but it's there. And I'm meeting with Sandy Bodenbender tomorrow morning to go over the contract that we approved last meeting and to talk to her about our flower situation for this upcoming summit. So I think that is all that I have, unless somebody has any questions. Okay, we'll move on. Approval of the bills, we have prepaids of $35,529.05, payroll of $7,205.50, payables of $11,124.44, for a total of $53,858.99. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Pay the bills. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
Zumba?
Oh.
Becker?
Yes. Motion is carried. New business, ZBA meetings next month, 6 o'clock before our 7 o'clock meeting. Any questions with respect to that? I've already gone over it, so. We'll move down to action items.
Can I have
Yep.
just one question? So basically, what they would like to do is put their new house where the old one was.
About where the old one was, yeah.
That's what I heard. All right, okay.
There's
And that-
wetland behind the house, and
But what about the property that we
they have,
discussed with them?
the abandonment of the easements is on their shoulders. They have to hire their own attorney. They have to go through the process that we have to go through for this by informing everybody within 300 feet.
They do all that.
But they have to, they're the ones that have to pay for that and their attorney. So from that point then, if there's no objections from the 300 feet, they come back to us and say, what do we do? So, they're gonna pursue that, he told me the last time I talked to him, which I think was last week, maybe the week before that. They're gonna pursue that, and I said we would save the 300 names, or the 300 feet names, so they wouldn't have to duplicate that, so. They're being patient.
So it's coming as an appeal to us.
The setback is an appeal to us for the construction of their house. The abandonment of the easement, we have said that we would consider it, but we're not going to go through and pay for the requirements for us to make that decision.
Right, but I mean, if it's coming to us as an appeal, then we've,
They're two separate items.
right, but the appeal is, they were denied, and now it's come to us.
Yes.
That's what I'd like to have the details on.
The zoning administrator
Zoning
denied.
says he has to have a 20-foot setback, he wants a 10-foot, so it's black and white, you can't have it unless you guys approve it.
Okay, thanks.
And there's some mitigating circumstances, their wife's asking for that. His family member is wheelchair bound, and he just thinks that access to the house is 10 foot instead of where you pull up with a car.
The old house was obviously there before zoning, so it was grandfathered in. Once they tore it down, they had to come back in compliance with current zoning, so. And they knew that.
Yeah. Action items. We've been raising our water rates each year for 25 cents a year to keep it current with current costs, inflation and everything else that goes with it. So we've done it in the April meeting the last two years, but we figured we could do it in March since it's going to come out in the next month or the next quarterly billing, regardless, either this month or next month. So, any discussion? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll support.
And motion to raise our water rates from 25.23 to 25.48. And we got a motion and a support. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried. budget amendment that's in your file is the last one for last year's budget. It just assures us, it's moving monies around to assure us that we are not over budget in any one line item.
So moved.
And moved and supported. Any support? Support. Any discussion? Not spending money, we're moving money. So all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Any old business? Any public comment? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make the
I'll second.
Been moved and supported several times.
I missed who was the second on the resolution.
The resolution was Chapman.
Right.
Right, okay, thanks.
You did
I
the
made the
motion.
motion, but I didn't hear who was the second.
Brian supported.
Thanks, Brian.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you all for coming.
I almost caused you to get a ride, but I'm gonna died.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah. My dad